How to write a survey questionnaire. So, in writing a survey questionnaire, there are some steps that you need to follow. First, pick your subtopics. Now, to decide on what subtopics to include in your survey questionnaire, you need to look at your research question. Now, find out or identify what are the keywords. Then make a list of 10 areas within your topic that you would like to find out more about. And this way, it will help you to avoid repetition. Another thing that you can use would be your mind map. Remember the mind map that you used when you decided on which topic you write for your research project. One of these topics or subtopics must be linked to your hypothesis if you have a hypothesis, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so for example, if your research question is about the lack of sleep, how does lack of sleep affect young Emiratis? So you might make a hypothesis such as lack of sleep leads to depression among young Emiratis. So in this case, your keywords would be lack of sleep and its effects to the young Emiratis. So you have this three important keywords. Now, in your hypothesis, you also hypothesize that lack of sleep may lead to depression among young Emiratis. So from the first three keywords, you might add depression. Okay, so these are suggested subtopics that you may include. Academic performance. As you know, young Emiratis are usually students, right? And so lack of sleep may affect their performance in college or in high school. Health, of course. Sleep is important in order to keep or maintain good health. Now, when you lack sleep, you can grow irritable or your your anger can shoot anytime because you feel uncomfortable. So that can sometimes affect relationship. So okay, another one would be amount of sleep. So you may ask question, how much or how many hours of sleep do you get every night or every day? And how does lack of sleep affect your mental health? Are you able to focus in your thinking, in your studies, in your work? And the use of social media. So does using social media affect your lack of your sleep? In other words, do you check your phone or do you use your phones um, before going to sleep? Or you go to bed late because of social media? How about your appetite? Do you eat regularly or does it affect um, your sleep? For example, when you cannot eat on time regularly, then your sleep can be affected as well. Another is, what beverages do you drink? Do you drink or are you a heavy drinker of coffee or tea, caffeinated beverages, um, as well as high energy drinks? As you know, high energy drinks could um, make you hyper or overactive, and it can also affect your sleep. And do you take medication? So you could get a good night's sleep, like sleeping pills. Or do you feel stress? Feeling stressed or depressed can actually affect your sleep. So these are just some examples of um, subtopics that you may include in your questionnaire. Okay, then you may now choose the type of question. So um, in your assignment or in your project, you may use a yes or no question, okay, or maybe a true or false, but you don't really have to do a true or false question. Now, the multiple choice, make sure that your question is related to your research question so you can extract the information that you need. So, for example, how many hours do you sleep every night? Now, you want to find out if your participants would usually have a good night sleep or they lack sleep. So you have to provide the distractors or the options. So examples would be less than 5 hours or 5 to 6 hours or 7 to 8 hours or more than 8 hours. And another type of question, which is a close-ended question, is the Likert scale. So in the Likert scale, you have to provide 5 points where your participants can decide. So if you would like to find out if your participants are aware how much sleep is needed by a young person to stay healthy, then you can use this 5 point scale. So the lowest would be not at all aware, and the highest would be extremely aware. Okay, now there are different response set that you can choose from. If you want to ask about the frequency, so you may use never, which is the lowest, rarely, sometimes, often, and always being the highest. Now, if you want to find out the quality, so you can use very poor being the lowest and excellent being the highest. If you want your participants to, if you want to find out if they agree or they approve, so you can use strongly disagree as the lowest and strongly agree as being the highest. For approval, strongly disapprove and strongly approve. So you may choose from all this response set. Now, another type of question is the open-ended question. So here you want to uh, get a deeper answer, not only from the choices that you provide, but direct from the participants' feelings, experiences, and opinions or ideas. So you simply ask the questions how or why or what do you think, or sometimes in your opinion, what can you say about, okay? So an example of this would be, how do you manage to sleep without any